Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Cyborg from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Cyborg is played by Ray Fisher. His real name is Vic Stone. I found this wave at Walmart, but somebody had already gotten the regular Cyborg. I found Cyborg with the helmet, Superman, Aquaman, and Flash. I went to a bunch of other Walmarts afterwards trying to find this guy with no success. I ended up checking eBay and I found this guy for $30 including shipping. I thought that was a fair price considering I didn't want to go to Walmart again and again and again. So let's go and check out the packaging here. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Cyborg from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Here he is in the package. He has one alternate attachment for his arm, then he has a collector's card and display stand. At one side it says Cyborg Justice League, other side it simply says Cyborg. At the bottom there's a bunch of credits and there is a barcode in case that helps anybody. And on the back side, here's Cyborg posed up from the film, and here are a bunch of other McFarlane DC Multiverse Justice League figures you should check out. So no further ado, let's get this guy open. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all of the accessories laid out. He does come with an alternate laser hand for his left hand. He comes with a display stand and a collector's card. But before we take a look at the accessories, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Cyborg from Zack Snyder's Justice League. His real name is Vic Stone and he's played by Ray Fisher. So let's take a look at him. He's in this robotic type body. It screams the T-800 from Terminator to me. The likeness is actually pretty good for Ray Fisher. Might be the best of the entire wave. Sure, you can only see, I don't know, 2/3 of his face, but they did a great job. You can see the metal robotic pieces up there. His fade looks pretty clean, pretty nice line. Going further down, all kind of wires, all kind of robotic pieces. It looks very nice, and it looks a lot like the film, and less CGI on the figure. One thing I don't like is this sort of energy in the middle here. It looks like he just got stabbed in the chest. There's blood coming out. It's not glowing like in the film. I wonder if there's some glow paint you might be able to use for that to make that better. Shoulder pads are soft. They can move. They're not going to obstruct his articulation very much. You can even see the detailing underneath there. His arms look pretty good. Looks like single jointed elbows. Looks like double jointed knees. It definitely just screams a Terminator. That's what I thought when watching the film. And the funny thing, his father was played by Miles Dyson from Terminator 2 Judgment Day. You got the sort of diaper thing on. It can sort of go up and down. There's a big gap if it's not put into place right, but it can look a lot better when sitting properly. Overall, this guy looks pretty good. Looks very much like Cyborg from the Justice League film. If you like that look, you're going to like this figure, and the likeness is very nice. Here's a closer look at his face. Tell me what you guys think. Drop me a line in the comments below. Do you think the likeness is good for Ray Fisher, or do you think it looks off? I think it looks pretty nice myself. And one interesting thing about this exclusive, the Cyborg with a face shield or helmet is a Walmart exclusive. Think back to 2017 when Mattel made their Justice League figures. The Walmart exclusive at the time was also Cyborg with a face shield or helmet. What are the odds? And here he is, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. His left arm comes apart, and you can replace it with the laser hand. I do wish both the arms came apart. Now that I've got the regular Cyborg and the Walmart exclusive helmet Cyborg, I have two of the laser arm attachments. And in the film, there was at least one part of the final battle where he had both arms as lasers. I would love to be able to reenact that with the figures. But now let's check out his accessories, and let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. It's a typical McFarlane stand. Black perfect circle, says DC on the bottom. He's got one peg for the peg holes on his feet. Very thin, very basic. Here's his collector's card. This is a picture of Ray Fisher as Cyborg. I believe it's from some promotional material for the film. Standing there, posed up. You can see his chest glowing. Cyborg from Justice League. On the back, there is a little description. If you want to read it, go ahead and pause now. Here's his collector's card next to the Walmart exclusive Cyborg with Face Shield's collector's card. They are literally the same card, except the one with the face shield is in black and white. It doesn't even have the face shield on that card. You'd think they could have at least taken a shot from that scene in the film and put that on the card. Kind of odd decision. Now let's look at his laser cannon attachment for his arm. This thing looks pretty nice. There's a lot of sculpting detail on this thing. You see all the metal in the back. Then we have the blue parts of the front and little pieces sticking out. Very nicely done. I'm pretty pleased with this thing. Looks very good. Connects onto his arm through the little peg hole. And absolutely no differences between the laser arm attachment that came with the regular Cyborg or the face shield version. Very disappointed that you can't use both of them at the same time. Here's the laser cannon attachment next to the regular arm. The regular arm does have articulation. It's going to have a swivel in the forearm where it removes, and it's also going to be hinged at the wrist. This cannon attachment has absolutely no articulation and doesn't really need it. Here's this McFarlane attachment next to the old Mattel attachment below. And here's this McFarlane Justice League Cyborgs attachment next to the McFarlane Teen Titans Cyborgs attachment below. Here's Cyborg with his regular arm attached. And here he is with his arm removed. As you can see, it's simply a peg on his forearm that's going to insert into the cannon. And then here he is with the laser cannon attachment connected to his arm. You could also take these flame exhaust accessories from the Batman Beyond figure and add them to Cyborg's feet as if he's flying in midair. Here's Cyborg in a flying position, flying through the night city skies. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, he's sitting at about 7.3 inches tall, which can translate to about 18.5 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, you can rotate from side to side. He can look up and down about that far. Very impressive. Should be able to give him to a nice flight pose. He can look straight ahead pretty nicely. His head can also tilt from one side to the other, giving him a good amount of personality there. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes out way more than 90 degrees. Shoulder pads are soft, they go right over his shoulder. Very nicely done. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. You can hear how it's sort of ratcheted, locking him from place to place. He's got this butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest area, just increasing the range of motion there. Bicep cut below that. Single jointed elbow goes in about 90 degrees. His wrist here, it can rotate and it's going to be hinged. He's missing that McFarlane signature ball on his wrist. He's got a ball joint in his torso. He can rotate around, go forward and back. Another ball joint in his waist, rotate around, also go forward and back, giving him a very wide range of motion in his torso. Now do be aware of this rubber sort of crotch or diaper piece. It can look good when placed properly, but it can also go down, have a big old gap, and look pretty bad. Just be careful about that. Legs, completely does the splits, goes out that far. Not a ball joint, but a similar type concept. There's pretty good thigh rotation here. Legs go forward about that far. Back about that much. It is single jointed knees, go back about that far. Then his ankle here, go forward and back. There is really no rotation, can tilt and rock pretty nicely, and he has toe articulation in addition to that. So a couple points when talking about his articulation. When I first got this figure, I had a lot of trouble getting him to stand up, but if you get his feet right, they are sort of ratcheted as well. It stands pretty decent. And then there's his head. So I found it kind of interesting. His head pops off pretty easily. The ball's inside the head. And you can do the same thing with the face shield version. Doesn't really help you at all. Just an interesting little FYI. Here's Gordon on the rooftop, hitting the signal. Batman, Wonder Woman, and Flash appear. Gordon asks, "How many of you are there?" "Not enough." Then Cyborg lands, surprising everybody, adding a fourth member to the league. Here's Cyborg communicating with the Flying Fox. "She wants to fly, just give me a little bit of time with her." Here's Cyborg and the rest of the Justice League taking on Steppenwolf and his parademons. I can't wait to replace this old Mattel Steppenwolf with the new McFarlane Mega figure. He's scheduled to arrive on Wednesday. Cyborg is after the mother boxes. They're trying to prevent the Unity. And I know this is not how it happened in the film, but here's Cyborg hacking into the mother boxes, separating the Unity, breaking them apart. Here's Cyborg looking down at the mother box, wonder if he's up to the task. And finally, Cyborg is ready for the Flash to come with a huge burst of speed and strike him with the mother boxes. Of course, Flash ends up being too late, Cyborg fails, and the entire Justice League and world crumble. And Flash realizes his mistake. He also realizes he can fix things. Flash picks up even more speed than before, ends up going back in time to the point before the mother box is united, hits Cyborg and allows him to finish his mission. Now let's check him out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is next to the face shield or helmeted version of Cyborg. This guy's a Walmart exclusive. They are 100% the same figure except for the head, and I think the helmeted Cyborg's head is considerably worse than the standard Cyborg. Then, next to all the figures I have from Zack Snyder's Justice League, we've got Aquaman, Black Suit Superman, regular Cyborg, Face Shield Cyborg, and the Flash. I'm scheduled to get Darkseid tomorrow from Amazon and Steppenwolf on Wednesday. Can't wait for those guys. But where is my Batman? Nowhere seems to have him yet. I haven't pre-ordered a couple different places. I anticipate getting him very soon. Add Wonder Woman to the mix, and you've almost got the complete lineup. And here they are, next to their Mattel counterparts. Here he is, next to the animated Cyborg from Teen Titans. A considerably different take on the character. Then, next to Murder Machine, this is pretty much a Batman Cyborg hybrid from the Dark Multiverse. Here are all the different Cyborg and Cyborg type figures that McFarlane has made in their DC Multiverse line. Really hoping to get a classic first appearance Cyborg or a rebirth Cyborg, screaming for a comic version. And here's my entire McFarlane DC Multiverse collection. Here are all the variants in front of you. Besides the Justice League Snyder Cut figures, I'm fully caught up, and they've shown some really cool stuff coming in the near future. Now let's check them out, next to some other Cyborg figures. Here are all the McFarlane Cyborg figures so far. Here he is, next to his Mattel counterpart. This is the Mattel Cyborg from Whedon's Justice League. And here are both versions of the McFarlane Cyborg from Justice League, and both versions of the Mattel Cyborg from Justice League. Here he is next to a DC Direct 7-inch scale Cyborg figure. This guy's from the New 52 comics. Then, next to all of my Mattel Cyborg figures. And here's my entire 6 and 7-inch Cyborg action figure collection. Here he is next to a couple of NECA T800s from the Terminator line. You can see why I said he reminds me of them. Then, next to some other Cyborg figures, we got some figures from Cyberpunk 2077 and RoboCop. They're all humans and they're cybernetically enhanced. Now let's check him out next to some action figures from different various companies to see how he fits in both scale and style wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect and work my way smaller. Here he is with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, with some more McFarlane toys, these are some McFarlane video game figures. Now, next to some older Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here, next to some NECA figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here he is, next to some Maplex figures. Then, next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this is a very nice figure. I think his likeness is the best of the entire wave. The sculpting detail is almost amazing on this guy. So many different sculpting details all over his body, very well done. His articulation is pretty good, I would have liked double jointed elbows and double jointed knees, but I do realize with his unique body sculpt, it's probably hard to cut those in without making them look bad. His accessories are pretty good. I like the swappable hand cannon, but I do wish you could put it onto either hand. That way you can utilize both the helmeted version and the regular version. If I were to rate this guy, I'm going to give him a solid 8 out of 10. He really has that Cyborg vibe from the Justice League film. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.